Hey, really good day one. I haven't been around a lot of spring practices that weren't good day one. Everybody has juice and energy, a lot of enthusiasm. Thought the practice was well organized. Guys were running to the right locations, and with a lot of new bodies, you hope that's the expectation. Guys playing hard, but we don't really have pads on either. So this is not it's not real football yet in my mind. But guys are definitely trending in the right direction. See some new guys stepping up to be leaders, which is positive, and really excited about the direction we're headed.
What are the biggest things you want to see addressed, and particularly after break when it is real football? What are the big questions you want to answer here the next 6 weeks? I'm
not really there yet. Ultimately, you want to figure out what the strengths of your team are, and then you want to make sure that you're doing a good job as a coach laying on those strengths. But we want to play with maximum effort, make sure we have a good understanding of what we're doing fundamentally, what our scheme is, and how we fit within that scheme. But we're really not even past break right now. Today, I'm focused on today.
You want to mention any of those leaders that are jumping out?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be hard to mention one or two, but a guy that really stands out to me going into year two is Josh Connerly. This guy's working his tail off in everything that he absolutely does. The way he stretches, just the way he approaches everything, his mentality in the classroom as well. Jamal Hill is a guy on defense that's really stepped up and has shifted and been in different locations, but really showed some maturity there. Jeff Bossa, Bo. I mean, I think there's several guys, and I'm probably definitely remiss not naming some of those.
What's the biggest thing you learned from your first go around spring camp?
We take pretty meticulous notes, so we just try not to make the same mistakes twice. If we thought last year, day one, we wanted to start on this yard line for a certain drill and we want to be really on the 15, we saw that note and we made sure this year we started the drill on the 15. Just having some of these walkthroughs that lead up to spring ball, we're able to go through some situations before we actually get to spring ball, so we can make sure it's really detailed and clean with speed on the field. I took a lot of notes today of stuff that we can still do better, so that's what we'll attack next practice.
What are those?
More than I can share. I think the way we coach things, the way that we drill things. I mean, there's a lot of pieces, making sure we're repping guys in the right area. The one thing you'll notice about practice this year that's different than practice last year is we have a lot more two-spot drills, right? So rather than getting 11 better or 22 better, right, we're able to get 44 better or 88 better because you're doing it on two fields. And we're getting a lot of guys that can get a lot of reps. When you're practicing on one field, you got 11 guys going versus 11, you're only getting 22 guys on the team better, right? You go ones and twos, which we don't really have a depth chart right now, or now you're getting a few more, right? But you're not getting as many when you can go two-spot with our drills. So being able to do that's a big piece for us this spring.
And given the number of new faces, I guess, is that even more important to just get as many reps as possible?
Yeah, it's extremely critical. I mean, every rep is a game rep, right? And it doesn't matter if it's a walkthrough rep, it's a game rep. It's an opportunity to learn, make mistakes, learn from somebody else's mistakes. So we want to get as many reps as we can for newcomers and everybody else.
You always have churn on the analyst roster. You did this offseason, but you had Mike Cavanaugh has been around a long time. You had a friend Brian and Antonio. What do those three guys add to the staff in their capacities? Yeah,
really excited about all that. One thing I'll say, when you have turnover from an analyst standpoint and guys move on for full-time positions, that's something I get really excited for, right? You want to be a place where we're not reaching just my goals and aspirations, we're reaching everybody in the organization's goals and aspirations. I think this place has proven to be a place where coaches can grow, develop, and then earn opportunities down the road. But when we do that, we don't look to stay the same. We say, okay, how can we get better? You talk about a guy like Mike Cavanaugh and his experience in this league, really his experience overall as a coach. I mean, that's invaluable to us. And our chemistry right now as a staff is really important. Brian's obviously a guy that I've worked with in a lot of different stops. This is our fourth stop together. I'm very familiar with him and the way he operates, understands it. And Antonio, I think, is an up-and-coming riser that Will obviously had a lot of familiarity with. It's going to be able to come here and add a lot of pieces really to our organization with his energy and enthusiasm and his relationship to just finishing up as a player.
You still have a couple openings on the analyst staff?
We're always going to look to enhance. We've got a couple pieces that we can still add.
When you're, I guess, breaking down practice film from today, 26 newcomers, whatever it is, what are the things you're looking at maybe first and kind of assessing their progress?
Yeah, are we playing fast, right? Do they understand what we're trying to accomplish? Because I think you want to see what guys can play football. We're not out here trying to out-scheme each other right now. It's not about who can draw up the best play. It's about seeing who can play football. So what we're trying to assess right now is, okay, who's a good football player? Do we have them in the right position? And if it's a blinking light, if they're going slow, well, how do we speed that up? How can we make that easier on them?
How important is it for you guys to get recruits out here to see you guys practice and see you guys outside of just a game situation or the spring game?
Yeah, our best pitch in recruiting is when people come and watch that practice and they see the way we work, they see how we develop talent, and they see how much our guys enjoy practice. So it's really important for us to take advantage of this beautiful place, get people here where they can experience it firsthand and see it for themselves.
I know it's a little early, but how have you seen some of the freshmen, the transfers, newcomers, how have you seen them build chemistry with their new teammates?
Well, it starts every Wednesday night for us. It starts with our get reels. It starts with those sessions outside. The other day we went and ate breakfast together as a team, and we put our cell phones in the middle of the table, and if you pick it up, you got to pay the bill, right? And so those guys are spending time talking to each other. You got to get around and try to create as much connection as possible away from just the football field, and in those moments, it's going to make you stronger on the field.
Did Mikel say medically retire? Just leave the program?
No, he medical.
A year ago, Bo was really locked in a quarterback competition with Ty. How was everything are different this year? How was that kind of freed him up, do you think, and kind of allowed him to focus on some other things in his game?
Well, I think competition breeds excellence, and I think right now Bo and Ty would both tell you that they're out there competing every single day. Certainly having another year in our system and how we operate has made both those guys a lot more comfortable, but I'm really happy with how they're both performing and how they perform today.
Is the plan to be careful at all with reps given the injury history, or is he going to get a full load this spring?
You got to do a combination of both as a coach. You got to be smart, but the only way you get better at playing football is playing football, right? So you don't go out there and not practice to get better, right? So we have to be conscientious of our reps. We're like that with every single position, but that's where we lean on our medical staff and people that are in this organization to point us in the right direction.
Now that the majority team kind of knows what to expect from spring practice, so you feel like you're a little bit more ahead than you were last year, knowing that these players have a little bit of leadership experience, they know what to expect, and they can bring that leadership into this spring?
Yeah, certainly there's a familiarity. I think the challenge for us, we did our group period drill today, is scheduled to be 10 minutes, and we got it done in 8. So you enjoy the efficiencies, but now I'm sitting here saying to myself, all right, what can we do with those other 2 minutes? Right, let's push the envelope, let's grow a little bit more, script a couple more plays, create something else where we can steal that. So our guys are operating at a high level from an organizational standpoint. Now we want to be able to push the envelope, and what else we're going to add and how we get better. We don't want to stay the same.
Yeah, how different are the expectations Saturday for that?
From today's practice,
yeah.
Or I expect us to be consistent, right? We don't want to be one-hit wonders. We talked about that today, right? We're trying to be consistent. So in our approach, we're not coming out here trying to have one-hit song. We're trying to make sure we put 2 and stack days, one day on top of the other.
Have you said when the 15th practice will be, if that's a corrected practice after the spring game? Or?
Yeah, it'll be a Monday right after the spring game.
And there's all this discussion here the last 3-4 months about the media deal and what's going to happen with the conference and what's best for Oregon. What have your conversations been like with Rob in terms of, from your perspective, of what you want to see happen here?
Yeah, I'm concerned about coaching the football team. Oregon's obviously a great product. I think you look at this conference, you see a lot of great football teams right now playing at an elite level. I'm excited to go play this year's game. I'm really not worried about the next piece. That's not my job.
After, kind of finishing the bowl game, how excited are you just to get back finally hands-on, like being able to coach the players after seeing them kind of grow these first couple weeks of spring? Specifically on the strength and conditioning side, what were you most excited to kind of come back and accomplish in this first practice?
Well, you see some guys change their body. You see some guys work really hard to get healthy. I mean, what do I love about football is this. I enjoy practice. I enjoy coaching. I enjoy game day. So this is certainly my favorite part of the season outside of football season. So just getting to get out there on the grass and run around and see the fruits of your labor, see all the hard work you put in the weight room and off-season carry over to the practice field is really important.
Early impressions of Austin Novosad and kind of how he's soaking up information from Ty and Bo and people around him?
Well, I think he's really smart. I think that shows in the way he attacks each day and plays. I know he wants a couple plays back today, and I know he's going to be a guy that cares enough that he's going to learn from it. So excited about his progress. He throws a tight spiral, does a good job with the ball, but he needs to deliver it in the right location a few more times.
And it stands to reason, Dan, but how urgent in particular is it to identify pass rush and multiple rushers, not just just, okay, you bring in a Jordan who's an established guy somewhere else, but to really have multiple answers at that position when it was such an issue last season?
I think we got to look to develop across our roster. I think we did that a lot in recruiting. I think that'll show up pretty quickly for us, but time will tell.
You mentioned Voss earlier. What are kind of your hopes and expectations for him this year as he takes that next step?
Yeah, I think he's attacked a lot of things. We had a nutrition plan going into for the offseason for him. I think he's done a really good job of being diligent and focused on that. Year 2 in this defense is so different than year 1, and just being a leg ahead, understanding, I expect him not just to coach himself, but to start coaching some guys around him. You start to see that show up.
Was the hope for him to get bigger during the offseason?
Yeah.
You mentioned Jamal could be a guy on the move as linebacker, something for him possible?
Yeah, I think position versatility for all our guys. I think everybody here knows that we want to try guys at multiple positions. If we can be our best team with Jamal at linebacker, we're going to work Jamal at that position. If we think we need him at quarterback, we'll move him to quarterback. I'm not going to really give out trade secrets, but wherever we can put guys in positions where they can help the team, that's what we're going to look to do.
Similar with Mel's, it looked like back in February that he was working with the O-line, getting some work there at least.
And we're going to work guys in multiple positions.
Last question. Early impressions of Will, Chris, and Malik, and maybe how they handled their group the last little bit here coming to practice?
Yeah, really well. I mean, I think we have structure in place, the organization in place where these guys were able to come in, and they're great coaches. We were able to go hire elite coaches. We had some great guys here, and we replaced them with great guys that all bring phenomenal talents. But these guys are veterans, understand how to coach. I know Alik's on the younger side, but he has a wealth of experience and is familiar with this place. What these guys are going to be able to do to develop, and then with some guys that we're able to bring in support staff roles, I think we've done a really good job of being all hands on deck right now.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it.